Real YouTubers talk about worlds. This match is kind of sad. I forgot. How did I have to go back and watch because I genuinely forgot how I used to do this because I don't know how to do V. I didn't used to write. Oh, can I do a redo? Hang on. Real YouTubers forgot the intro. This time I think I remember it. I would just write my name, right? That has got to be the worst one I've ever done. Let's take a moment to appreciate how horrible that is. That is, oh my God, I should be sent to jail. How, gross. Okay, let's not look at that anymore. I used to just write my name, right? It was just Wolfie. Was it just Wolfie or did I used to do Wolfie VGC? It's been a long time. Anyway, hello. So there I was, thinking about the Pokemon World Championships as I tend to do, and I was thinking about it in particular about one match that is quite interesting and unfortunate, but I think it's really interesting to talk about. I actually made a TikTok about this yesterday. I'll post it on the main channel as a short sometime this week, probably Wednesday. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday. Yeah, but it's a really interesting match, and it asks some really, I think, difficult questions, and it was a really tough position for the judges and to make the call. So what am I talking about? Well, if you watch the World Championships, you might know what I'm talking about, which is it's this match. Hello? Is this gonna work? Between Tatsuya Watanuki and Ko Tsukide. So here's the context that's relevant. This is the end of game 2. Tatsuya is up 1-0, and they have a really interesting team. They have Raikou, who is not very good in VGC at the moment, and it's the only Raikou I saw all season and from any tournament. And they have Golisopod. Now, Golisopod's actually kind of strong, but it's difficult to use, and it's a really, really interesting niche. It's a niche pick for sure. It was very, very unpopular. Like I played against a couple on ladder, but it was very niche. Their team in general is really interesting. It's a very fast, I think, close to max speed, if not max speed Groudon, with Precipice Blades, Rock Move, Thunder, Electric Move, which is really unusual. And Protect Incineroar. It's an overall cool team. Now they're up again 1-0, which is very relevant. Ko's team is a bit more standard. This is kind of just like the standard, one of the standardization Kyogre teams. Tatsuya is about to win. So as you can see here, they have full HP Incineroar, and it's 184 HP on the Rillaboom. The Rillaboom does not have grassy terrain. Rain is up for 3 more turns, and Rillaboom has been intimidated, and it still has to take out this Golisopod, who may be faster than the Rillaboom. First impression is not active here, is worth noting, but I don't remember the last move in Golisopod. I actually don't know. It's Aqua Jet, first impression, Drill Run, and maybe Leech Life, but I wouldn't swear by that. It could be Liquidation. So yeah, basically it's Assaultless Rillaboom. No, it has Protect, but sorry, it's not Assaultless Rillaboom, my bad. It has high horsepower on the Rillaboom. So this game is most likely over. The rain is up. Incineroar probably needs 3 Flare Blitzes to take the KO, but with Protect, hang on, wait. There's 2 Flare Blitz, Protect 1. Yeah, it's probably gonna need. Wait, is that right? Takes the KO, eats the Flare Blitz, protects. Yeah, they probably need 3 Flare Blitzes here. So even though this Rillaboom is intimidated, it is possible for them to win. It's not totally impossible. I think high horsepower crit, in theory, probably could almost just definitely do it. It might only take 2 high horsepower crits. And we don't know the spreads either, so we don't know, like, specifically how many Flare Blitzes Rillaboom will take and stuff like that. So this game is not guaranteed over, but Rillaboom would have to get very, 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 very lucky in a number of ways. I would say overwhelmingly this game is going to end in a couple turns with Tatsuya as the victor, almost certainly. Which is cool. We're about to have, and this is the top 16 of the World Championship. So the loser of this game goes home, and the winner gets to advance to top 8 and has a chance to win the whole tournament. So it's a pretty important match. Top 16 is, all of World's top cut is pretty important. So let's take a look at what happens here. Some of you probably already know.
Phenomenal survival. That is huge.
Sorry, I'm watching on 2x speed because I wanted to rewatch to get the context. The other thing worth noting is that Ko only has 28 seconds of your time here. You can see that, right? I'm blocking it. Let me move my big ol' head. So this number right here in the bottom right, this little 28, is indicative of the fact that Ko only has 28 seconds left to make their moves. If that 28 ever hits 0, they're going to lose automatically. So they would need to not only get super lucky, they would also need to make their moves very quickly and not run out of time, which, because Incineroar has Protect, is not a guarantee. So again, overwhelmingly in Tatsuya's favor, is what I would say. So let's take a look at what happens here.
Take that attack and then get the knockout. That's massive. And he put himself in a great position now. You don't need to worry about anything else. You've got the Rillaboom now. It is threatened by the Incineroar.
So what just happened? There was a disconnect, and my understanding of the situation is that the reason that there was a disconnect is because Tatsuya lifted their switch out of the dock. Now, you're probably thinking, why would they do that? That isn't, like, it's obviously going to cause a disconnect. Well, the docks in Japan are different, and players are able to move them around more freely. I believe you can actually, like, lift the switch up and it will stay docked and not cause a disconnect. Now, for Worlds is handled by the Pokemon Company International, not the Pokemon Company Japan, which is technically a different entity, for lack of a better word. And because of that, the switch docks are different. We use the switch docks that we used in North America and Europe for the World Tournament, not the ones they used in Japan. Now, why they have different switch docks in the first place is beyond me. But what's worth noting that Tatsuya did not encounter this issue at all, right? They probably weren't lifting their switch. They probably weren't, moving their switch dock around that much in general. And it was almost certainly just force of habit. Maybe they were trying to be more comfortable. I don't know for sure. But if they had done this and they were playing on Japanese hardware, which they obviously are used to from from qualifying for Worlds, if that had been the case, then this wouldn't have happened. But we were playing on the hardware that we used in North America and Europe, and therefore it caused a disconnect. Now, the rules are very clear about this. The rules state that if a player causes a disconnect, intentional or otherwise, the player who causes the disconnect is to be given a game loss. And so what ends up happening here is that Tatsuya, who's about to win the match and the game and the set and advance to top 8, instead is given a game loss. And if we jump ahead here,
a little bit of a communication issue here with the game.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You can see, yeah, Ko ends up winning the set.
Yeah, and the
Ground goes down, and then
is locked down to like that
Incineroar goes
Kyogre
down.
coming in.
So Ko ends up actually winning this set, despite the fact that they were almost certainly going to lose game 2, and it's because of this disconnect issue. Now, this is a really tricky situation to be in all honesty. Like, I do not envy the judges who had to make this call, because it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's a lose-lose, right? Like, there's no solution that feels good here, in my opinion. Either you give a player who disconnected and the win, and you take away the opponent's slim but possible chance of winning, or you give the player who was, again, almost certainly going to win a loss and probably change the course of the whole tournament. Now, I don't know. I think I really feel for the players here. I really feel for both players, in all honesty. Tatsuya, who was about to win and had that taken away from them, that's a really unfortunate way to go, in all honesty. And Ko, I'm sure they didn't want to win that way, right? And like, I mean, you really can't fault them, right? They were just like doing what the judges told them. And like, they probably didn't understand exactly what happened in the first place. And also, like, I don't think that like, it's, again, like, how do I say this? I think that Ko had a right to finish that game, even though they were almost certainly going to lose. In Pokemon, wild stuff can happen, and low probability things can happen. And so I think Ko had a right to finish that game. I don't think that they should have seen that they were losing and been like, I forfeit here because it's like, quote unquote, the right thing to do. I think that they had a right to play the game out. It just really stinks that it happens. I don't think it very clearly wasn't malicious. You know what I mean? I don't believe for a second that Tatsuya was trying to gain an advantage by lifting the switch out, but it's just an unfortunate situation because it most likely, overwhelmingly likely, it changed the outcome of the tournament, and it knocked a player out of the tournament who was probably going to advance to top 8. So I think it's unfortunate. I think that's the best word I have for it. But I do think that the judges made the right call here, which is, again, a difficult call to make. But like I said, I think Ko had a right to that end game. I think that, like, number one, I think that it would set a very dangerous precedent, because this match was most likely over. Like, the odds were overwhelmingly in Tatsuya's favor. However, if you were to give the game win to Tatsuya, despite the fact that they disconnected, where do you draw that line, right? If I have a 70% chance of winning, are you willing to give that to me? Like, is it 80? Is it 90? Is it 95? How do you calculate that, especially without knowing spreads? It just sets a very dangerous precedent, and so I don't think that you can realistically award a game win there. Yeah. And I'm trying, and like, it's worth noting that it's in the rules. And I think that's actually something that's like relevant here, which is that in a situation, especially a situation where it's really, I don't know how the judges felt about this. I don't know if it was ambiguous for them, but I would feel bad making this call just because it's just such an unfortunate situation. And so I think, especially when a call is like particularly difficult, I think looking at, in general, players agree to play by the rules, right? And we have a rule book for a reason. And so I personally am all for, you know, modifying the rules like for specific scenarios where they call for them. Like, I don't think you should be following the rules if it's like a worse, like, I think if there's a solution that creates a better outcome than whatever the rules outlined, then I think it's okay to pivot. But I think in a situation like this, like, yeah, like it's a gray area. And I think that like in a situation where no one's going to be happy, doing what was agreed upon in the rule book is the proper way of handling it. So that's my take on it. Again, it just really sucks. I really feel for Tatsuya. I feel bad for Ko as well. It's just such an unfortunate situation. But I'm curious about what you all think. And I think it doesn't happen very often. Like, especially back, you know, for most of competitive Pokemon, we played on DS systems, which were wireless. So the fact that we're now playing on wired obviously raises some new complications, such as what we're witnessing here. So it's not something that has happened a ton in competitive Pokemon disconnecting. And so we don't have a ton of experience like handling it or you know, even thinking about it in the context of the space. So I'm really curious what you all think as you know, viewers. I've tried to present this information as impartially as I can. I mean, I don't have a vested interest in it. This is just my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, because I think it's a really interesting situation. And I think, again, I think the judges made the right call, but I'm just one person. So I'm curious to hear what you all think. Thank you for watching. I hope you've been enjoying these bonus videos. I've been doing them daily. I'm not going to promise to do them daily. I definitely won't be doing them daily forever, but as long as I have things to talk about, I feel like I want to do them, and they're kind of fun for me as well. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching, and subscribe to BonusWolfe. Bye-bye.